So today we're gonna be making crispy noodles as a bed, right? And right on top of it, we're gonna have some nice stir fry with it. So in Vietnamese, we call it mì sao Gion. So I'm gonna turn the fryer up to 350, and I'm gonna let that get to the temperature. Then I'm gonna come back and fry some dry noodles with it. So over here, we have red bell peppers. I got about 2 large red bell peppers that I cut up. I have about 2 crowns of broccoli that I have broken down. 2 cloves of garlic. About a pound of beef. About half a pound of shrimp that I actually just cut in half, right? And then about a large knob here of ginger that I'm gonna dice up. Over here, I have some hot water because I'm gonna blanch the broccoli and the bell peppers and then freeze them, right? Flash them so then that way it locks into color. That way when I cook it, right, it's gonna nice and bright. Okay. Now that the water is boiling, I'm gonna put a little bit of broccoli in here for about 10-15 seconds or so, right? I don't wanna overcook it. I just wanna flash it, bring it up. Now, what I'm gonna do, ice cold bath, dump that in there, so that way the cold is gonna shock the broccoli to lock in the bright green color. So that way when it cooks later, it still retain its color. Now, when I'm blanching, I gotta be careful to not try to overload the water, because then that would just reduce the temperature of the water. But at the same time, I don't wanna overcrowd I don't want to dump all of the hot stuff in at once in the ice bath, because then that would just make it lukewarm instead of ice cold. So I've got to do it in small batches, right? Now I'm just finishing this up. Transfer it to the ice bath. Let it do its thing. Then I'm going to go and check on the oil for the noodles. Okay. Now that the oil should be nice and hot, I cranked it up to 375. I'm gonna get it in here. The oil is gonna heat it up, and look what happened, the transformation. It's gonna puff up the egg noodles that you see here, and this is gonna become my base for my stir fry that I'm gonna dress on top of it. It's gonna look beautiful, and the crunchy noodles gonna soak up all of the wonderful flavors of the stir fry as well. The noodles are done. I take it out and I put it on top of paper towels. They're gonna help soak up some of the grease. In terms of today, when we stir fry, I got a pound of beef that I sliced nice and thin. I use tenderloin for this one. I have a pound of shrimp that I sliced in half. I have chopped up some ginger, 2 cloves of garlic, about 2 tablespoons of the oyster sauce. In it, I'm gonna add about less than a teaspoon of cornstarch. I have some broth, some stock that I made. So you can use chicken stock or you can use beef stock too. About 2 cups of it, to kind of thin things out, because what's gonna happen is we're gonna create a nice sauce that is going to then drizzle over the stir fried, over the noodles, to kind of soak in all of those flavors. Okay, now here comes the fun part. I have drained the broccoli, so that way the water comes out. In 2 pans I have hot. I'm gonna keep the meat separate and the vegetables separate, and then I'm gonna marry the 2 together in the end. Okay, so here, some oil in a hot pan. You can see the smoke. It's nice piping hot. Garlic. Ginger. About 10 seconds to get the flavor and the aroma out. Come to beef. Want a quick sear on it. Now come the shrimp. And the other pan, bell pepper's gonna go in first. Okay, I'm gonna get some color on that. And then the broccoli can come in next. The meat, I just want the shrimp to barely cook because I'm gonna finish it off with the vegetable together. So then that way it's not overcooked. All right, so about a minute of cooking, the shrimp starting to curl, turning pink. So I'm just gonna shut that off, let it gently reduce. The other pan, the peppers starting to get some color. Okay, next step, broccoli is gonna come in. Okay. So now that the broccoli and the pepper have been in the pan for about a minute now, I'm gonna pour in that stock that I had earlier, that I mixed 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce, some cornstarch that I put in here to kind of thicken up the sauce a little bit, and then some stock that I have. Like again, you can use chicken stock or beef stock that you have to kind of create a nice sauce for the vegetable. And we want some sauce because we're gonna ladle it over the vegetables later. I'm gonna bring that up to a boil. Then I'm gonna marry the meat all together, and then ready to be served later. Now that it's bring up to a boil, right? I'm gonna turn off the heat and turn it off completely. The reason why is I don't want to overcook the vegetable. More importantly, because it has cornstarch in there, the longer it boils, the thicker the sauce gets, and I don't want it to get too thick. Okay, now I'm just gonna marry in the meat.
You may kiss the bride.
To basically finishing up the dish that will be served on a bed of crispy fried egg noodles that we had before. So come back and we'll show you what it looks like in the end. So to serve up the dish, I have some noodles here. I'm gonna label it in, and I want to drizzle some sauce over it. You can hear the crack snapple pop. That is as the noodle is soaking in all the flavor from the broth and the stir fry. So in the end, we have a dish that looks something like this. So I finish it off with a little bit of crushed roasted peanuts to add a little crunch to it as well for another umami flavor. It's just earthiness that it brings out in it. So from our family to your family. Bon appetit.